Okay, right. Can you give me share screen? Where is it? Okay, here we go. I don't have share screen, so I can't share. Can you hear me?
Can give.
I enable you.
Enable me. Okay, very good. Okay, here we go. Can you see this?
Yes. I think sound is now. Waiting.
That was one. Did you all manage to catch that?
Wonderful.
Short one. So that's my fight song. Fighter song.
Really? Nice.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna log out and log back in, okay?
Yeah, please.
After Regana join, then we can start.
Yeah. Yeah, still 9 people only. Okay, but I think we can start after she joins.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Shall we start?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Before we start the meeting proper, we will set up some ground rules for the meeting. As every professional meeting regulation would demand it, we would also set up few ground rules. Am I audible? Is clear? Okay. First rule is not to disturb the flow of the meeting by leaving the mic on when the meeting is going. Number one, whenever you need to speak, you can always unmute and then speak out. You can raise hands and we will let you do that also. And if you are uncomfortable, because we are all at home at the moment, meeting through the Zoom, if you are uncomfortable with the scenes at your background, you can be off from the video and come back, no problem. And also, if you wish to make questions any point of time, just raise your hands or leave the questions in the chat box, or express your need by raising the hand physically also, and you can ask your questions. We will give you a gap to ask. But actually, in this meeting, we have a special session on question and answer, as we have planned this as a panel discussion. So these are all the basic, some ground rules I would like to mention before we start the meeting. And I am Tain Muriar. I will be hosting the meeting, and please feel free to make your expressions openly. throughout the meeting. And we are here to, everybody knows that we are here to talk on women empowerment in the name of Women's Day. We should have conducted this a bit earlier, but due to unavoidable circumstances, we are still in March. We are going to have the meeting there. And as we say Women's Day or women empowerment, we know that as a woman, we are very proud. As a woman, we are here to cherish our rights here in this world as a woman. And now, beyond this, there are many other things that we are to be proud of. These are all the circumstances that we, at the moment, we are put up to talk about the women empowerment. I hope all of you know why I say this statement. If people who are, any person who do not know the disparity, gender inequality, or differences between children in the house, just because they are a boy or a girl, due to the gender difference, the disparity in the society, in office, anywhere in the world, just because of the gender variation difference, if we face difficulties, then there comes the empowerment. Isn't it? That's the logic. Why we talk about empowerment? There is no need to talk about empowerment when there is no disparity or power. So if we lack the power, we feel that we are going to think of how to empower ourselves. So we stand here in this society, although it seems, it appears that we have grown enough, we have become equal in many ways, intellectually, physically, in accomplishments, in business, in everything, but there are significant population, those who live in the modern society in cities, that's a different question. But in general, those who live in rural areas still are underdeveloped, and they treat women as second citizens. So we are living in the world where it's a mix of both very evolved society and also under-evolved society. So it becomes a responsibility of a responsible citizen. We have to think about it and then evolve with some ideas and how we ourselves as a person, as a woman, how we can contribute to that social problem from our ends and as a team. Now, here, my friends, the speakers today, are here generously agreeing for this meeting to speak upon on this topic of women empowerment. With a very short notice, I really thank them for their acceptance and the presence here, valuable presence here. Thank you, dear speakers. And also, I welcome all the audience. I'm not sure how, yeah, we have at least enough of people to listen to. So all the audience who are attending this meeting today to support us, to listen to us and interact with us and contribute to the thoughts that we will be sharing today. Please welcome and present your thoughts together with us. We have a panel discussion at the end. We can have more interaction. And the meeting is designed in such a way that Dr. Ram, the president of Guild of International Speakers and Trainers Society, an NPO organization, which trains a lot of meaningful personalities towards the meaningful activities. He will be giving the presidential address as a president, followed by introduction will be said by me. Almost I have done that now. Followed by speakers. Every speaker will have 10 to 12 minutes of short speech. And after the speakers finished, can have a question and answer session. And will be a proper panel discussion with a lot of brainstorming questions today. And we will have a great time now. Please enjoy the evening. I will call upon Dr. Ram to have his thoughts. And especially the presidential address will be focusing on the what is GIST about and what are the activities that GIST has performed and going to perform, the vision and mission. Thank you, Dr. Ram.
Thank you, Dr. Ten Muriel, for your wonderful welcome address and mentioning about our society. Sorry, Guild of International Speakers and Trainers. The society established more than 3 years back in Singapore, and we are very much focusing for the social activities which are going to support for the people in our community to develop and upskill to the next level. Myself, Dr. Ram, a few of my friends already here, they are well known to me. But it is my duty to introduce Guild of International Speakers and Trainers rather than myself. I would like to start from slide presentation. Can you all see the slides now?
Yes.
Good evening. Guild of International Speakers and Trainers, registered society in Singapore as per the Society Act in Register of Society in Singapore, ROS. We are stationed at City Hub 2, Lavender Street near Lavender MRT, as well as the Boon Keng MRT station. Bendemeer MRT station. We have our own vision. Every enterprise has their own vision and mission, as well as the values which are focusing for doing the service in the community. We are connecting the Singapore to the global perspectives through our distinguished speakers and professional trainers who wanted to aspirate well and going to mingle well in all over the world through their human empowerment capacities, capabilities, and making the strategies towards for moving the excellent status. GIST, guide, inspire, shape, and transform. The acronyms can be expanded in this manner. We are providing the values for innovation, learning strategies, and the knowledge sharing, social development aspects for the people who wanted to enjoy their cultures and the capability building with the integrated and holistic vision for the whole world. We have a lot of objectives, but very few I can able to. We are organizing national, international level programs and events, which are very much focusing to appreciate the people who are having the capability and making their transformations as well as sharing to the world. And that is the way we can able to build the stronger society and stronger community, which are very much demanded as of now. So we are expecting professional trainers and public speakers who can use our platform and they explore for the global man. We are having very wonderful organizational structures and it is designed as per the compliance regulation of Singapore Act. And we have president, national president, vice president, and secretary, treasurer, executive committee, board members, and advisory committee people. So we are expecting few more people can come and join hand with us and explore for the strengthening part. Our market focus is very simple. We are focusing for the institutions where the new workforce are going to come and emerge to support for the requirements in the workplace environment, as well as the industries who are looking for the new workforces to come and join with them and support for their activities to make the meaningful way to run the business. Our target audience and clients, we are expecting the employers, the business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, as well as the managers who are supporting for the decision-making aspect in the organization, for professors, teachers in the institution and the schools, higher learning institutional students, and the school students, primary, secondary school students. As a public speaking platform, we are planning to start a virtual platform which are going to engage the public speakers who wanted to do the delivery for the global perceptions. As well as we are engaging some professional training program, structured training program affiliated to build up international speakers and trainers portfolio. That way we can able to do more activities in the way of serving the people who wanted to learn and explore. We are conducting career skills and development program that is also important as of now because the career switch and the career building are very, very important. They have to develop certain ways to transform and retain their values as per the competition. We are supporting for the professionals who are willing to learn certain management skills because the leadership attitude is very, very important. If they are taking the ownership or taking the roles and response for the required projects or required commitments, that would be a greater value for the organization. So we are focusing for our people who can able to uplift their management skills and decision-making ability. And independently, we can improve our personality skills through certain kind of programs and training or conducting certain workshops that is enable them to build up their own personality or professional skills. That is very, very important. If anybody is interested, they can be able to conduct the program through us and we can able to get the people for you. Health and wellness program also very important. As of now, the work-life balance that is very important for the people who are looking for the aspects and they explore the way they are expecting a lot from the society. How do they manage the so that is also very important for the people who are looking for the opportunity. How do they able to design their work-life balance, either the workplaces as well as social contributions. As I already mentioned, we are focusing for different programs. We are having certain signature programs. One among is the Human Excellence Award. In year 2020, we selected two eminent personalities. From one person from the late A.P. Raman, Mr. A.P. Raman. He was awarded for his service as a senior writer and senior journalist for receiving this Human Excellence Award. And another person, Anandam Youth Foundation, they are offering the education service for the youngsters who wanted to continue their higher learning opportunities in institutions. So we appreciated their service for the society. And we conducted a lot of programs like May Day, the Labor Day functions, National Day celebration for Singapore, and also engaging some professional trainers who can able to support for different field of expertise and sharing for the people who wanted to benefit out of that. Last year, we conducted the Human Excellence Symposium, Human Excellence Award through Guild of International Speakers and Trainers. And we awarded nearly 4 persons, eminent personalities who contributed very well for the community in the way of supporting for the people's service as well as community development. This year, previously we conducted the Valentine's Day, February 14, and this is the time we wanted to celebrate the International Women Day. But unfortunately, we could not able to arrange it on the same day of 8th March, but we are slightly delayed, but it is also led us to celebrate the International Women's Day to support for the things, how do they able to uplift for global women empowerment strategies or the managing conditions according to the challenges and opportunities available for them. Global women empowerment strategies we can categorize for their goals, for their plannings, and then the strategies. These 3 elements are very, very important for them. And we can able to focus for the equality, equity, educational support, and gender, not to the gender discrimination to submissive them. We have to play some fairness activities. That is also very important, and we can able to engage in that. Participation is very important, not only in the home or society, also in the workplaces as well. Women's empowerment, we have to categorize several principles which are very, very important for the equality, that is meaning for the business activities. So we must need to endorse all these principles to establish the high level of corporate leadership qualities. That is very, very important. That is the way only we can able to engage the gender equality to come in play for them. And we can promote the equality through some kind of community initiatives or advocacy, and ensure the health, safety, and well-being. That work-life balance also very important for them whenever, wherever it is possible. And we can able to promote their education, training, professional development, especially to support for the women who are preparing for that. Implementing certain kind of enterprise development, supply chain, and the marketing practices. That is also a strategy for the global empowerment conditions for the women to procure. We have to measure and the publicly report for the progress which are very much required, and we have to reward and award for those women who are begging for it, who are eligible for that. So that is the way only we can able to bring the equality for the women to celebrate. Sustainable women empowerment according to the UN Sustainability Development Goals, especially these 7 goals are very important. Good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, reduced inequalities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, peace, justice, and strong institutions. These are all the important elements out of the 17 goal sets. These 7 goals are very, very important for the sustainable women empowerment. Especially, I wanted to point out one particular thing. We have a lot of women, they are working in workplaces, but I wanted to mention, even for developed countries, you can see these factors, the data. The percentage of women in the workforce, even it is almost 50, but the percentage of women in the C-suite, that is the top management positions, are very, very less. It is not to the level, expected level. It is almost 1/4 or 1/3 of the conditions. So we must need to think how to improve these kind of levels for women to come and occupy the C-suite cadres, especially the top management positions. We have to make another move, that is we have to create the talented women community, how to manage their challenges, preparing their competency skills, making the power of choosing the right thing for their requirements, and how do they able to think the systematic approach and the challenge with the assumptions which are not true for the truth. So that is the way we have to make them to get some kind of leadership quality, making some kind of transformation in developing their experiences to lead and explore further and furthermost. We have to create the right networks for them, women and network. That is, there is no discrimination, so we can able to engage them to plug and play with the gender equal spaces where the male and the female can work together and explore the possibility for transforming the conditions very well. Work-life balance is very, very important, especially for women gender, because they are taking care of much more things at the home as well as society. So it is the way we have to make them to enjoy with the work-life balance, either the personal values and the professional values, to balance between the two. Women empowerment, very simply, we can categorize: be yourself, accept yourself, value yourself, forgive yourself, bless yourself, express yourself, trust yourself, love yourself, empower yourself. So yourself, you are the meaningful person. You are making the meaningful transformation for the each and everyone in the community. It is the responsibility not only with the women, also for every gender. So we must need to allow them, we must need to engage them, we have to explore together for the new future for entire people in the world. Thank you. And the final thing, GIST, we are looking for the people who wanted to have the collaborations, joint venturing opportunities for making and engaging certain kind of programs with the like-minded people, either they are organizations or institutions, industries, or individual. So we can support for preparing the people for their better life and making the community very stronger for the entire world. So we are expecting your support and handfulness together. So that is the way we can able to create the new, brave, and stronger world. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Thin.
Thank you, Dr. Ram. It was a wonderful speech expressing the speciality of GIST in the society, how they train people, and what is its mission and vision, and also touching upon women empowerment as a man. Yeah, that is real special because usually, generally, men respect their own ladies. I mean, there are exceptions like Dr. Ram, but generally, I say everybody knows by experience. Their mothers, their sisters, their family ladies, special place in their heart. But when they come to the society, seeing the other women, obviously they will have a different perception. This is a general thing I am telling. And people like Dr. Ram is greatly respectable. And thank you for sharing a lot of thoughts on women empowerment. And not only that, there are a lot of men leaders who have actually enlightened the women to know about the women empowerment. So we gratefully think of them, recall them, and respectfully thank them. And one such thing comes to my mind is when there was independence given to India in 1947, when Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, was asked, the independence is given, obtained from British. How do you feel? What do you think? Then his reply was, 1947, his reply was this, and still, if he is here, he would say the same to the society because we are still evolving in that line. Although there is some significant growth, but still we are evolving in that line. What he said was, India has been given with an independence, yes, I agree, but the true independence we obtain only when an young girl goes in this street without any disturbance. He has given much more in-depth to the definition, but what he means is, if there is a safety for women, if they are alone and if they are on the street, at the midnight, if they walk on alone on the street, if they are safe, that is the day when India has got full independence. So we understand that even the leaders who are really concerned about the social development, they think that women's safety, women's growth, and women's empowerment is the actual empowerment of the society. So here we have three wonderful ladies going to speak about the women empowerment, and three of them will be handling in different perception the same topic. And we are going to have really brainstorming session. After listening them, we have another session as a panel. So ready for listening to them. I will call upon the first speaker now.
Thank you for making the wonderful event, and congratulations for all the speakers and the moderator yourself.
Thank you.
Have a very nice session. Thanks for the visitors and friends who joined and make it for the day for us. Thank you so much.
Yes, are you here, Dr. Ram, or are you leaving?
Yeah, I'm here.
You will be here. Yeah. We need you.
I could see some of friends. Just I want to greet them. Welcome for the.
Yeah, sure. We have to every now and then invite them again and again. Yeah, such a pleasure having them. Thank you. We get into bringing the first speaker here, I'm going to invite a special person. Why I say a special person? Because she's the youngest among us. Not only that, in this age, she has been aware of women empowerment, which is a blessing. I would say it is a blessing because at her age, we haven't been aware of all these, and rather we were not been given a chance to understand a lot of things because the society has evolved technically, scientifically, and many aspects with the information sharing, IT world. And so she is more aware of the present problem on women empowerment than those days when we were in their age. And having her to speak about this very intense topic is really feeling very happy about it. I called her before that. I will introduce her with some information about her. She is the intern at Tamil Murasu, the Naridal. For the past 3 months, she leads Kavi Molai Youth Wing. So she has some skill sets in writing poetry in Tamil, and she's a very good singer. And she enjoys public speaking, has been invested in community and cultural events a lot. And her ambition is to make difference in the society. So what a wonderful introduction. I am very proud to call Miss Vishnuvardhini. Please, Vishnuvardhini, you be the first speaker. Thank you. Stage is yours. Please come on.
Okay, thank you so much for the lovely introduction. And good evening to everyone who has joined. I am Vishnuvardhini. Thank you firstly to JIST for presenting me with this wonderful opportunity. Women empowerment is a topic that I have been invested in, maybe inevitably when I was young. And I'm definitely still exploring what women empowerment means to me as an individual, because I have been in a very safe, comfortable environment, be it in society, at school, and stepping into the corporate world, I've been learning many new things. As a member of the youth, I know what it feels to be consumed by what we consume. It is the era of social media, and we seem to be surrounded by trends and fads that are just ever-changing and overwhelming, hard to keep up. I believe that it is not a surprise then that feminism has also been labeled a trend, a fashionable thing. And usually feminism on social media is seen as something trendy and has a negative connotation because people think that some claim that they are feminists just to promote or brand themselves, paint them in a positive light. And if you're an Instagram user, you might know that there's a new feature where you can add pronouns. And when people actually use that feature, add their pronouns, people think that, oh, they're extra or, it's just to brand themselves and, just let people know that they are woke or they are in the trend, they are socially aware, etc. While I do see where this understanding comes from, essentially, I do think that it is in itself a progress that women empowerment is as popular a subject as it is right now. The fact that women empowerment is not a taboo, it is actually a fashionable thing. People think that being empowered is trendy, is also being socially aware. I think that is a progress and a win for women. People are becoming more aware and they are more open to waking up in layman terms. We should not forget that media has been a medium that since the beginning of time has actively propagated gender stereotypes. And it has always been extremely biased, and that is in my perspective. So my point of view would be that whatever it throws at us, we should take with a lot of salt. To me, feminism in essence, or women empowerment, doesn't mean putting down men and raising women. Rather, it is allowing women to rise beyond social barriers, and it is also women themselves believing that they can rise beyond societal barriers. As a student, I was introduced to an overwhelming amount of gender inequality terms, especially in the last 2 years. in the corporate world. And needless to say, it was intimidating to see that a woman entering the workforce is always surrounded by glass in a very figurative sense. There is a glass ceiling, a glass cliff, even a glass escalator in the workplace. And all these were so foreign to me. But as I read up and dug up more information, research about it, it was interesting and also quite intimidating to really imagine myself, put myself in the shoes of a working woman. And I also discovered that poet Oscar Wilde said that women are a decorative sex. Thankfully, we are informed enough right now to know that this is not really true and this is not really acceptable among society. So women empowerment to me is basically a sense of empathy amongst members of society. Simply put, not sympathy, never sympathy, but empathy. And I have always heard this quote in Tamil, mostly the members of the older generation, that the kitchen or the state of the kitchen in every house is reflective of a woman, her morals, her ideals. But why not rethink that the state of women in society is reflective of society? I feel that that is much more progressive and is a much more modern outlook on society. To me, the day when society acknowledges that women have a different level of access to the same available rights and resources as everyone, and the day when society really thinks, why should we ever follow the norms that have been in place for about 1,000+ years? And I think that will be the day when women might feel truly, fully empowered. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Vishnuvardhini, for a very meaningful talk. You touched upon important aspects of women empowerment, and you have explained a critical point that women empowerment doesn't mean men decline. Yeah, we don't want to put down men, but to raise women beyond the barriers of the society. Very well said. And also, you mentioned that it is not a fashionable thing. When you talk about feminism, it's not for fashion or trendy things, but it has more meaning to it, and you have explained so well. Thank you. Thank you. I am amazed at your understanding and expressions. Thank you. Well done. Yeah. And now we are getting into the next speaker. I'm going to introduce as you all can see, once I start telling about it, you can see the sense of vibrancy in the speech. She is none other than Madam Rehana. I will talk a few introduction about her before she takes the stage upon. She is a revolutionary mindset intervention coach, specializing in helping individuals break free and creating breakthroughs for success. She has empowered more than 8,000 school students over the past 10 years in Asia with her life skill programs. She has also created her 7 Steps series for women, entrepreneurs, and individuals across Asia, Europe, and USA. She is a motivational speaker, as well as an active YouTuber, TikToker, and podcaster. She is especially passionate about youth and women empowerment. She is a progressivist. What a wonderful coinage of a term. She is a progressivist, an activist who is constantly on the path of progress of herself and of others. This is the introduction I am giving for Madam Rehana, and we are very eager to listen to you, Madam Rehana. Please.
Thank you so much for having me on this platform today. There are no rules if you're a boy, but if you're a girl, you got to play the game. What is the game? You are allowed to be pretty and cute. and sexy, but don't act too smart, don't have an opinion, and don't voice out your grievances. This is what we've been told, generation after generation. Yes, things are changing, but we are still being told that. Women have been oppressed for so long. They believe what men have to say about them, and they believe that they have to back a man to get the job done. As women, we have to start appreciating our worth and each other's worth. Like our earlier speaker said, feminism is not about berating men or looking down on them or hating men, but it's giving the ability to a woman to make her own decision, to have her own choices without being judged. So today I want to talk a little bit something different. We always talk about how men are putting women down, how men are always, trying to be better and, making women feel weaker, the weaker sex or the weaker person. But there's also another enemy, and that enemy is sometimes women themselves, right? So women, due to jealousy, due to competition, due to being judgmental, because there are very few women in the workforce, what happens is that they compete with other women. And when there's a stronger, better, wiser woman, they try to bring her down by judging her, by calling her names, which are not very nice, by making her feel less worthy. And this is happening in our society as well. So women sometimes bring other women down. They talk badly about each other. They make bad jokes. They even join the men in trying to bring the women down. But they don't realize they're actually bringing themselves down. Do you know that by raising the level of women empowerment, you are actually globally creating a beautiful world? You create healthy families when you have strong women in society. You create women who help their children so that they can be educated, they can be fed well, they have nutrition, they make good choices, they have good backing, they have money. You see, when women work and are empowered, they actually put back 90% of their salary back to their families. And imagine what that does for the child, what that does to help the family grow and to become better. And this is the only way we can reach out to the world, eliminate poverty, eliminate poor education by empowering the women. And women need to support one another by helping, by mentoring each other, and by learning to grow together, to collaborate, to join forces, to stand up for each other, and to believe in each other. And it starts from the home. Mothers are guilty of doing this. They are unfair, especially in Indian culture. I'm saying because I'm Indian as well. So I understand that. They always put the boys ahead of the girls. They give better food to their sons. The sons don't have to do housework. And the girls have to be more accommodating to their brothers or their cousins because they are girls and they are boys. They have more privileges. They have, I'm sure the women in this group today can understand this feeling, right? Nod your head if you think yes, right? It is, it's happening. So mothers play a very, very important role, a pivotal role in getting their daughters to rise, to be empowered. And it starts in the home. I've spoken about this before many times, that mothers are responsible. Mother-in-laws, in fact, a mother-in-law is bullied by her own mother-in-law. So she believed that she should bully her daughter-in-law in future because she suffered when she was a daughter-in-law. How does this empower women? How can we break this cycle? How can we deliver our girls to rise, to be empowered, to take on the world? Don't talk about the men, talk about the women who need to empower other women to rise, to stand strong, to be strong, and to show the world that they are not the weaker sex. So I urge all women to come together, to stand together, to not bitch about each other, but to support each other, to guide each other. And those who are stronger, bring another woman up, show them the way, guide them. Just because you had a hard time doesn't mean you have to give a hard time to the next woman. Give them a hand, raise them up, bring them and make them stronger. That's what my message that I want to share today. That women empowerment is women empowering another woman. Thank you. Back over to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Madam Rehana. You have come out with a wonderful, different perception. You started with boys have no rules. It is true in many households, true. Women are more directed for duties than boys. And your perception on how women can empower women is a beautiful note for women here. Because we think that we need not empower ourselves, somebody will come and do for us. It is not like that. Whatever happens to us, we are fully responsible, not only for ours, but also to the rest of the women, the rest of our peers who are our sisters. So you are insisting that you don't be a barrier for your own growth. Be open, help one another, grow yourself, and allow others to also grow. Beautiful point. Thank you. We can see the activist in you with the emphasis you have made and the expressions you have given us. Beautiful sharing. Thank you. And we will be getting into the next speaker, probably the last speaker. 1 minute, I will take her. So, yeah, yes, Vijaya, yes. The next speaker, Ms. Vijaya, is a student care teacher. He has written English conversational book for adults in her school. She has conducted holiday programs for children. Definitely, she is a very trained, capable preschool teacher. I have seen her performing. So, with her experiences in the workplace as well as in the society, she is here to share her thoughts on women empowerment. Vijaya, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Payne, and thank you for having me here to talk about women's empowerment. And I believe my co-speakers, they have said their point of views on women's empowerment. And yes, I believe Ms. Rehana is correct, because some women, they do have a strong power to actually make another woman's life difficult. Yes. And okay, my point of view is I see who is the biggest enemy to all women. I believe it is yourself, the individual women. Why do I say that? Because you have other reasons like the society, the gender discrimination, the lack of education, and your parents, your culture, the society, everything. Yeah, but even you can see that even a person who's educated, a lady who's educated, she's afraid to speak up when there's something has happened to her. She feels that, you know, when she speaks up, she's actually framed as a bad girl, because only bad things happens to bad girls. That's how women think. I mean, not all, but some of them. So I think this kind of attitude should be stopped. Why? Because there's so much of things in life for women to explore. So it's the fear in them. I believe it's the fear in them that stops them from expressing their views, to explore the world, to establish themselves, to see their identity. So women, please come out of the shell. That's what I want to say. And secondly, when a woman is in front of a man, the man could be a father, the man could be a boyfriend, okay? And the man could be anybody. The women feel relaxed. I mean, you feel that being a fairer sex, you feel weak. You tend to give the first place to the man to speak up, to make your decision. By right, you should be taking your decision. You should be deciding what you have to do, your point of view. But despite that, you allow other people to decide your fate. Why? Why should that happen? It should be you talking. It should be you deciding. It's because it's your future. Because when you make the first step, your children, you are influencing the children, your children, the girls especially, to stand up for your right. So please do so. If you have not been speaking up, please do so. And the other point which I would like to talk about is when you have a boyfriend, right? Girls, they do have boyfriends. You can have boyfriends. You can have a boyfriend, but you can't have friends, boys as friends, because you'll be seen as, oh, you're flirting with everyone. You already have a boyfriend, but you're flirting with everyone. So why sincerely feel that you shouldn't? Because you have your right to have anyone as a friend. I mean, with a dignity, right? You can talk to anyone, and you can choose your life partner on your own. You shouldn't allow anyone to dictate to you. Okay, for that you should overcome your fear. That is one. Secondly, educate yourself. Even if you're not educated, just go on, look out for help. And when there's a help given to you, please grab hold of it, so you can rise up to the situation where you want to. Explore the opportunity given to you. Never take the final decision from another person, because if you do that, you will regret in your life. That's what I feel for most of the women. Yeah. And okay, stop being a scapegoat. Do not allow others to make you suffer. Okay, because there was one point when I was very young, and my grandmother, I used to have a lot of pimples on my face, and then my grandmother told me, oh, you're looking at a lot of men, that's why you have pimples on your face. And then my older brother was saying, oh, is it you tend to look at men outside? And I was taken aback. At one point I thought that it's my fault and I'm a bad person. But and another point, I was thinking that, oh, they are talking nonsense. No, because it is not my character. It is not my character. It's my body. It's not my character. I'm a pure person. So why should I believe them? Even though they're older than me, my grandmother's very much older than me. My brother's very much older than me. But what they are stating for me is wrong, because it's not me. So please identify yourself. Identify who you are. Then you can establish yourself. Then you can be empowered. Speak up. When you speak up, then nobody can bully you. Even if it's a man, even if it's a woman, no one can do anything to you if you don't speak up for your rights. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think women, whatever, then it be of fruitful to you. You will lead a happy life. Yes, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijaya. It was a wonderful speech. Although you two agreed in the perception that women are enemies to women, sometimes they don't want to come out of the shell and express themselves what they are supposed to express. You have included a few points to emphasize that you need not believe others' judgment upon you, and you believe in yourself and identify yourself for who you are actually by empowering yourself rather than believing others' words. Wonderful. Thank you. And now I would like to make relational comments here. That is, Jawaharlal Nehru, who is everybody knows he's one of the great leaders in India, have been in politics, in the prime minister in India, and he has been there when Mahatma Gandhi was there to receive the independence of India. So very important leader. He has told that when a woman is given education, you are not giving her alone the education. You are educating the family, you are educating the village, the city, the nation, and the world as a whole. Meaning that when a woman is with the right education and right exposure in a family, she is going to build up the family. What is a family? It's persons who are all going to the world with certain ideas and identities. So the identity is developed in the family by the mother. That's why women are educated, and there is no need to say that all women are in a way going to be a mother. So there was one quote also, the hands that rock the cradle is going to see a mother in future, and it's going to deliver the best to the world if it is given the right education. So having a proper education for women is important. That is what emphasized here. So education is not for herself or to the family, to the nation, and to the world at large. If the right character is built in the family, obviously that is going to reflect in everybody's life when they are outside the family. Isn't it true? So again, in order to celebrate Women's Day, I would try to bring in a very important character that is to be celebrated by all of us and understand the impact that that character is making in this world. Who is that character? Can anyone guess that character in our lives? Any suggestions from the floor? Who might be that character that I would suggest that very, very respectable and honorable and important, that is going to reflect in the society at large? Any guess? One guess? Okay.
Male or female?
Sorry?
Male or female?
Okay. Yeah, it's
Mother.
definitely female. It's definitely a female, That is
Mother.
mother. Wonderful. That is mother. Because thank you, Madam Rahana. It was a right answer. I am really touched by that answer. Because everybody would have guessed rather. Thanks for telling it out. Mother being an entrepreneurial role in the family, like I was checking the entrepreneur. It is just to take an important task and managing it with due respect and enough of risks, even though there are difficulties knowingly or unknowingly we will be facing, but still taking it on and facing it with the courage, boldness and courage. So she has been in a different atmosphere at her home and suddenly entering into another person's home and sacrificing everything, coming over to build a new program, a project, task, which she is not at all familiar with. Although there may be a care, say, from parents and elders, but she entered into that such a very challenging enterprise, I can say, and taking it on without rest. You can imagine every mother, when they do at their home, their work tasks, unimaginable. One day, if the mother is not at home, fathers cannot manage. That we obviously know. So, despite that, the inevitable role that the mother can play in the family and in the society and in every child's life, husband's life, despite that, she has been given the second role to make decisions. So, that really gives us the picture of our society. Not in every house, there are exceptions, and there are a lot of development nowadays in many families, but more than a significant percent of population still keeps in that level, that important character. Having realized it, if we empower mothers, in a way, women, I mean, in terms of mother, but I mean women. So if we empower them, obviously we are going to totally reform the whole world. I hope everybody in the floor would agree on that point, and we realize it, but we do not, even now also as a girl, we give more respect to the father's words than the mother's words, always one kind of carelessness. Yeah. But we know, we love at heart, and we know their value. And in this context, I would like to mention that there are many leaders, they emphasize on this, and I want to recall one of the leaders who has fought for women freedom and really struggled to get women education in India, especially in Tamil Nadu. We call it as Periyar E.V. Ramasamy. Periyar. We call him Periyar because he has been very elderly and he has done a lot of big reformation and renaissance in the society. So we call him Periyar. Periyar means very big man. Yeah. He has been insisting to the central government from Tamil Nadu, that is one of the states, in India. From there, he has been insisting to the central government and to the whole of India to get special reservation for women, for education. Reservation for women, meaning that most of the, in the past, mostly men are allowed to go for school and get proper education, develop them well, and perform great in the society. That is, as Madam Rahana mentioned, boys have no rules and they have all freedoms. And very aptly, she is very appropriate to mention it because she has been from the background of very men-dominated family and society. She has a personal experience that she has expressed it very aptly. And he has fought for the reservation for women education in Tamil Nadu, and it has been executed throughout India and got, even now, we have a reservation for women education and many, even the employment and everything. All right, having said that, we will get into the very interesting session, the panel discussion. I hope the speakers are ready. And yes, thank you. And shall we give a few minutes of input from audience? If they have their thoughts, they can just put in for 1 or 2 thoughts. And if you have questions, you reserve it for the panel discussion. But we welcome your thoughts for 1 or 2 minutes from floor. Anyone interested in sharing your thoughts on women? I mean, in general, yeah. Please. Okay, probably if we start the panel, then they will open up their questions also, I think. So do you think we can get into the panel directly before? Or do you need little more time for sharing? Audience from the floor, please.
When you are talking about this woman empowerment,
Please,
if
yeah.
your lady has a problem, where does she go to for help? I would suggest that when a lady has a problem, the husband should be called along to counsel the husband also and tell the husband the important role of a lady, because the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Excellent.
I mean, giving only one side, it becomes one-sided story. Both the men should also be willing to change. Otherwise, there's no peace at home.
Excellent. Yeah.
I don't want to elaborate so much, but generally I've given you the idea what happens.
Beautiful. Very true.
I'll tell you, long time ago, I had some problem. So went for a counseling. You know what the counselor said? No point talking, lah. Go back. He said, you're an Indian, you should know. So you get idiots who counsel you. You listen to idiots, you're finished. So
Clear.
even the counselor should be able to present properly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a very useful input. We are talking about women empowerment. It doesn't mean that only women are to be involved and corrected or empowered. Men need to be empowered too, because there is no point one person empowered, the other person is not in the plane at all. So that would definitely bring in more problems, like what we call complex, isn't it? The inferiority complex and superiority complex, that is detrimental. Thank you, sir. It was a very good input, and we have to have everybody in the same plane so that we have a proper solution for the problem. Thank you.
Can I share one thing?
Please, Amma. Is it Lakshmi Amma? Please come. Where are you? Yeah. Please come.
I'm here. Okay. One of the speakers said, no, you can choose your life partner. Yeah, I agree with it. You can choose your own life partner. Never mind, on your own you can do. But if any problem, anything comes, surely they will go to divorce or any other thing. Then they will return back to the parents. That should not be the way. They should stand till the end. They should know to stand on their own feet. Yeah, that's what I want to share. Till the end, they must be independent and strong. Women must be like that.
Thank you, Ma.
Can I add on that? Can I add on that to Madam Lakshmi?
Yes, please, you go ahead. I will.
Yeah, so I was, okay, yes, we need to stand together. But I think as a family, even though they got married themselves, they made the choices themselves, or they decided themselves that they want to get married to someone without their family's approval, I think the family plays a very, very important role in supporting them. So what if they made a choice? A choice is a choice. It can be wrong or right. Doesn't mean because they made a bad choice, they stop becoming your daughter or your daughter-in-law, or they stop becoming your sister, or they stop becoming, anyone that they don't stop becoming your daughters. They still are. So you, as a family, whether they make a wrong or right choice, you still support them. And that is very important as families, also as communities, to come together and to support one another, support the women in their life.
No, I didn't say don't support. If they take the decision by themselves, they should know to stand on their own legs. I don't say like that, don't support if they come back. No, they have taken a wrong decision. Yeah, people will actually, everybody is not good in making decision. Sometimes it will be good, sometimes bad. We don't take a proper decision. Just many I have come to know as friends and family circle like this happen. That's why I want to share.
Thank you, ma'am. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. They should stand up and be dependent on themselves. But I still feel that the family should support them despite the choices that they make. And I urge the community to do that. Especially Indian families. Again, as I said, I'm Indian, so I can speak for Indian. That you no longer our daughter. Don't come back to your house. When they marry the daughter off, they say, you have any problem, don't come back to the house. This is what they tell the daughters, right or not? When you have a problem, settle it. It's your husband, you have to settle it. So sometimes, it's not just the individual. What would you tell that to your son? If you have a problem, settle it, don't come back. We won't support you. We won't help you. We won't, guide you. You will, right? So you do it the same for your daughters as well. This is what the society needs to know as well. Thank you. Back over to you. Sorry, I've taken so much.
Yeah, no problem, please. It's interesting to listen. And just additional thought here. Lakshmi Amma, that is why we want women to be empowered. You are telling to be independent, right? Yeah, we want to be independent. Just give us the power of education and being independent in the decision making and everything. You will be giving us in the family with a lot of suppression and powerful men dominant scenarios, like what Vijaya mentioned just now, and Madam Rehana mentioned just now, the dominance for the boys, then the girls. And yeah, you know what I mean by men dominant society. Yeah. If you give the environment in the family like that, and suddenly you want independent standing and decision making, how would it happen? You have to incur that when she grows, for her to be independent on her own legs by, intellectually, financially, and socially. Yeah, that is why we talk about women empowerment. It is needed. Sometimes some girls lack it because of their bringing up. So we should give a right bringing up to develop the confidence and clarity in thoughts and boldness and courage in standing strong. That is why women empowerment. Thank you. We will go to the question session. Of course, the audience can come in and then ask questions anytime when they want. But there are a few questions already we have got. We will discuss that one by one. The speakers will come in and then share their thoughts. And even Dr. Ram and all other who are all here capable of answering, also free to answer. But speakers first. Yes. We will start with this. Okay, there are lots, but I will streamline and then go for the better ones, important ones. To what extent has the state of women's empowerment progressed? To what extent the state of women's empowerment progressed? Please, shall we ask the first speaker to answer for this? Vishnuvardhini, do you get the question number? Do you want me to repeat it? Okay.
Okay, so it is to what extent has women's empowerment progressed over the years, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, I'm a youth, so I only have about 19 years of experience. But in these 19 years, I think I have had the privilege of looking at people of different ages in my own family and in the society as a whole, in the Indian society especially. And I hate to admit it, but we are conservative. We are kind of still conservative. And of course, that is tied with our different interpretations of what is social cultural traditions to us. We are people who really have a very rich tradition, very rich culture, but of course we are so varied, we interpret everything very differently. There are people who interpret it with a conservative outlook, some people interpret it in a less extremist, less conservative and more modern outlook. So I feel that the fact that there have been variations in how we perceive what our culture teaches us is in itself a sign of progress of women empowerment. And I also think that in families, people have progressed to giving equal treatment to the younger members, whether regardless of gender. And of course, I think that there have been equal opportunities, just not equal access to opportunities in society. And of course, the thing that it is not, there's never an end to it. I think we are continually progressing towards what we want to see in society, what is ideal for each human being in society. So I would say that we have not totally attained like a very idealistic situation for women, but we are in a progressive situation towards women's empowerment. So I would definitely say that there's been an exponential progress and development in women's empowerment from my worldview and my perspective. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Rehana and Miss Vijaya, do you want to add on anything to that question?
Yes, I think a bigger role has been through education, the allowance given that women and girls can go to school. I think that has given a lot more scope for the women to be more empowered and to progress in this area. We now have moving from Indira Gandhi to Margaret Thatcher and all these strong women, because they were educated, they really know, and they actually prove themselves that they are actually capable of running countries by themselves. And I think there is a lot of progression even from that era, from Indira Gandhi's era until now. A lot more has been done, a lot more has been given to women empowerment, girls empowerment, labor, those labor where women are forced to work in labor. And I think we have moved. There's still a lot to be done, but I think we have progressed quite a bit. Thank you. Back over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Vijaya, you want to add, Amma? Are you okay?
Yes, I definitely agree. I definitely agree that there are a vast improvement in women's empowerment, because we can see a lot of entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs in Singapore as well as other countries. And education, of course, it comes in. And then we are not afraid to voice out. That's another thing. And then one more thing is that the success, even in workplace, there are female bosses and we have male workers. So I think if you see that, I think we can see that there's a changes in the trend. Yeah, that's all I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma. All right. Shall we go to the next question? Yes. What are the socio-cultural barriers that still exist that hinder women empowerment? What are the socio-cultural barriers that still exist that hinder women's empowerment? Madam Rehana, do you want to take up the question?
Sure, Ken. So what are the, again, back to culture is definitely cultural more rather than anything. And I think one of the propagators of this culture is fear by men. They are afraid that women will be better than them. It's a fact. Not many men can take strong women. It's a fact. Dr. Rao, would you like to share on that? Not many women. They fear. But I can understand. It's not that we want to take over the world or we want to take over the manhood. We want to take over. No, it's not. It's just we want a voice. That's all we want. And, I think fear is one of the reasons why the cultural is still backward. And, they fear that, they will get better, then they will lose their manhood because of that. I mean, I'm just saying, right? But it doesn't work that way. We don't want to take over the world. Women are definitely better than men. No, I'm just making a joke. Yeah, we don't aim to be equal. I mean, there's a misconception that women want to be equal to men. We are different. We have different qualities. We can handle different things better than men, and men can handle different things better than women at certain aspects. So, I mean, it's not a competition. And I think when men and women realize that it's not a competition, because women also take it as competition. I'm competing against a man. So they also need to break that barrier that I'm not competing. I'm just being me. I'm capable. I'm good. Just think of me as a human who is able to do something. If there were two men assigned a task and one was better than the other, are you going to say, oh, no, he's not better? But when a man and a woman do, and you say the man is better, you see, you make this kind of judgment, right? But if two men apply for the same position and they are both capable in an organization, you won't have this kind of judgments placed on them, right? So that's one of the things we need to get rid of, is that we're not in competition with anyone. We're not in competition. I will repeat this. We are not in competition. We are just acknowledge that we are good at some things. And we acknowledge that men are better at some things, definitely. So, it's a collaboration, and that's how I see it. Back over to you.
Rahina madam, I have to appreciate you. I have to agree that women are superior than men. That is not shy or something. The God is given each one is different challenges and different advantages and disadvantages. But if you compare both, women are better than the men for some of the areas, and many of the area to running the family, I can say. You rightly said, we are not competitors first. First of all, we should not go for the debates. Men, I need these, that, and that. We are now in a digital world. Very, very few locations only still women are treated something different. But there is no competitions. We are all more adjustable. We are accepted. Both are equal. Both are running the families. There is no competition in this. We cannot. Men cannot run the family. To be frank, women housewife is a simple word. But I'm an engineer. I do many wonders in my design. But if you tell me to manage a house for a month, means I cannot. So I used to say this to my wife. So really the challenge. Okay, the women are running the life. Men maybe create the money, but they cannot run the family. Okay, they're running, but I'm not saying without their support, I'm not be in the peaceful sleep. So they are more powerful. This case, we are not competitors. Both are, men should be men, women should be women. That is what I want to say. That is what you are also pointing actually. That's why I thought, okay, I have to interrupt now and then I have to put my words here actually. I have only one daughter. My mother also 83, she is alive. And my wife, I'm a minority in my family. If you take, even we are 5 brothers actually, 1 sister. If you take all my brothers, we all are having daughters. Only 1 son actually, in out of that. So, okay, what I am trying to say, we are all double happy than the boy's child. So that is what I want to say here. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Continue. Sorry for that.
No. Thank you for interrupting and sharing your thoughts. Very well said.
Additional value, whether the men or women, like animals also, there are certain animal groups, the women are more dominant than the male. The females are more dominant than the men. Like that, social activities and the cultural barriers and other elements made them to suppress because of the male-dominated society, and they put up like that. But now it is the revolution. Everybody wanted to bring their daughter up, as well as the son also. but they have to put together as per the gender equality or equity. We must need to endorse the skill sets are same. When two persons, the male and female, come to compete each other for occupying a superior position, we have to see the pros and cons, which level it would be supportive things for the organization. That is the way they are taking the decision. Rehana Madam forget to tell Halima Yacob in Singapore, the present model, more than Indira Gandhi and that time, but the present evidence is Singapore. We have Madam Halima Yacob. She is the president of Singapore. We can able to learn a lot from her, even though a large family as a Muslim family, but she has proven her ability to withstand as a leader for the nation. The live example, just I wanted to add it. The way the adaptation and the performance values according to the scenario, you can able to cultivate, you can able to develop. That is the way. There is no gender discrimination, there is no gender priority, but it is circumstantial. It is circumstantial where you want to take the risk, higher risk for that, where you don't want to take that higher risk up to that level. But even for space shuttle also, the women are traveling. They are proving their ability to go and settle down for time and come back. So there is no way we can, like female pilots also now, they can take the, I saw there are ship captains, entirely women group, ship captains. So that is the way we can able to endorse the skills for the need of the time, and we can appreciate both the genders can come up well and do well for the social requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ram.
Just
It was
sorry, yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, one group of I think 5 pilots, women pilots from Bangalore to Air India, I think. Yeah, they drew the flight, yeah, to USA. So women are now
these are all
pilots.
Yes, definitely. There are a lot of accomplishments.
It is a recent story. The entire cockpit, the women pilot and the crew completely they took the flight for a long journey.
Yeah, and more to that, they have gone in the astronaut team also. So a lot of accomplishments we have been hearing and we are proud of. There is no doubt. But beyond this, there is a suppression. There is a second level of respect for their decisions. If the situation is still in the house, only exceptional houses train the girl children to achieve that level, but the social disparity cannot be hidden. It is still there, although we are not aware, we are not with them, and there are significant population suffer suppression, especially because just they are women. We have 6 really in rural areas of India, still until now, girl children are pulled out of school first if they attain puberty or any difficulty in the family, financial or anything. They are first pulled out of the education, and the boys will go on. That is how it has been set up. And Dr. Ram rightly mentioned, in the ancient days, when what they call the primitive men, when they have started to hunt and eat, and that those period, barbarian period, only women dominated the society, and they have collated the team, and they led the team. These are all ancient historical evidences have on this. But as the men society identified that their role will be very much pushed back, and they realize that they are masculine to win over physically in certain situations, socially there is a great transformation which allowed them to dominate the ladies. That is okay. Let us not go to the history. We want to look forward and bring in more justice to the women's society. So one more, a few more. We have time for 3 more questions.
I wanted to speak. I will bring up This should be
Please.
considered as education.
Ah,
This topic should be considered as education. So it should be one of the school subjects. Not necessarily the subject should be taught every day, but at least once a week. So that people, the children become aware
exactly.
that importance of a lady,
Yes, yes.
whether in any rank, whether in the working place or whatever it is. Generally, the ladies are paid less. Why should that be? In most,
Yeah.
even in Britain, the ladies are paid less. So these are things which should be taught in school. It should be an educational subject. Then only you can improve. Otherwise, talking off record, nothing can happen. Nothing much
Very
can
true.
happen.
Very true. Very true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the input. Rightly said. Because awareness is a problem. That's why I was telling when Vishnuvardhani is involving in this meeting and then sharing her thoughts. In this stage, if she could come up and then with the right awareness, express her thoughts on women empowerment, that is wonderful thing. As Sar was telling just now, it has to be incurred at the younger age to understand what is happening around me, where I stand, what is my role, how I can contribute, even if it is less, where I do something to the society in this regard. If I don't do, my next generation is going to be affected. Am I doing my role rightly for the next generation to live well? Or am I, model for the upcoming younger ones? So thank you, sir, for mentioning it. It has to be in the primary, secondary education, definitely.
You should start from primary, sorry. Should start from primary. Respect for your sister,
right.
respect
primary.
for your neighbor. Not second, start from
exactly
younger age, maybe on the
okay.
fourth or fifth year starting.
Okay. As long as they understand what we speak, then we start on this education. Definitely, yes. There shouldn't be any need beyond few years. If we start from the younger age, beyond certain years, we don't need it because there will not be any inequality. Everybody understands, and then it is not only for the women children, both the children. So they will perform in the right way. Thank you. Yes. And the next question is on what are the root causes of global women empowerment? Retarding the global women empowerment, nearly we have discussed that. Where do we focus more to construct well for women empowerment strategies like youngsters or middle age or senior citizens? I think this question is just discussed with the answer just now what Sarah was telling. Where do we focus more to construct well for women empowerment strategies like younger ones? So who want to take up the question? Vijaya, do you want to say anything on this?
Yeah, definitely. Being a teacher, I would like to share my point of view. I think to educate young people so that you will grow up to have better values, and there will be a respect. You will respect your elders. You will respect the women outside. You will respect your own sisters, your mothers. That will contribute. But the education greatly contributes to your values, your thinking process. And when you are educated, you will treat the women outside with respect. And the women outside will be really happy about it. And then I seriously think that education should be from the young. Yeah.
Very true, very true. Thank you, Vijaya. Actually, there is a great saying that education is not developing the knowledge, it is developing the character. As you educate yourself well, higher and higher, your humility and clarity and understanding, empathy, everything will grow. This is a package. Education is not just technical information putting into the brain. So rightly said, Vijaya, thank you. Then the next question goes to Ms. Vishnuvardhani, that is whether education alone may bridge the gap for women empowerment or any more consideration additionally needed. Education alone may bridge the gap of women empowerment. Yeah, that's it. You can tell.
I would say that education does really have a big part, because education, if not for education, I don't think it would have opened up the eyes of many women around the world. They had a good access to good education, and that makes them who they are today. So education, because like the place where we have our education, where we get our education, is like second home, and we cannot compromise that. We get so much of our worldview, we communicate so much there, make experiences. That is important, but I also feel that it has to start from home. I mean, that's cliche, but it definitely has to start with home. And I have personally seen many schoolmates, male schoolmates, who have a sense of entitlement, you know, and I totally agree with Madam Raihana's previous points about how some men can't really deal with stronger women. And I think that has a lot to do with upbringing. We often hear the phrase, you shouldn't do this because you're not a girl. You should do this differently because you're not a girl. And women make any choices that women make, anything that happens to women, be it however serious it may be, there's always a point that points out, you are a woman and you make this choice, which led to this and to this and to that. And it's a very sad phenomenon, because even in some legal cases, the judges themselves seem to say that, point out things that women have done, things that women have worn, which is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? As an evidence, as the cause of what happened to them. And I think it really has to do with how parents interact with their children. They cannot use phrases that are very simplistic, very general, like, you're not a girl, or you are a boy, you have to man up. Things like that really gives them a sense of entitlement, that so I can treat a woman however I want. And that also gives the woman a sense of fear that I cannot depend on myself in an environment where there are men around. I have to depend on a stronger man figure or a father figure. And, then that just kind of makes them dependent on everything, everywhere. So I think, it really has to start with the parents. They have to inculcate awareness. They have to stop themselves from saying things, doing certain things, and that will, even the smallest steps will go a long way in my perspective.
Thank you. It comes back to the mother's role, isn't it? Everything should be fed at the beginning. At the younger age, we are under the mother's care. Of course, father is also there. Even father is created by a mother beforehand, right? Yeah, so the women are the creators of the whole world, whether it is boy or a girl. Women are the creator, mainly because they carry them in them, and then they give to the world, and they instill them with all the necessary characters. Of course, father supports. In our society, both are not equally doing, but actually doing more is the mother. So mother, if she is with the right education and the clarity and the social identity, then she will give a better son to the world, isn't it? What you say is true. It goes back there. So education to the women is important. So
can I add to that?
Please.
So I think education is one aspect. Actually, we also need not just education, resources, opportunities. These are also very important. Education is one aspect to empower the women. But if you don't give them the proper food because you are biased towards your son, that is also not being fair to the women or the girls. You're not giving them enough to eat, not enough nutrition. There's not enough milk in the family. We give it to the boys, right? We don't give it to the girls. Right? Something like that. So, resources are also very important. And another thing is opportunities to entrepreneurship, like give them a skill that they can use. This is also very important. Opportunities are very important. So education is one aspect, opportunities, and give them a voice to be able to voice out what they want to say, because most of the time, girls shouldn't say things. You're not allowed to say this. You're not, don't give that. Give them a voice that they can voice out. They can actually share their view. They can share their grievances. They are allowed to do that. They can cry and they can share and ask for help. It shouldn't just be, oh no, you have to tolerate because you're a girl. God wants you to suffer. Some cultures, I'm talking about some cultures, they actually say that this is a test for the women to be patient with their husbands or with their families or with their in-laws. It shouldn't be that way, right? God doesn't punish you because you're a woman, and it's not a punishment. I'm very strong about this because I've seen it happen. And, opportunities to voice out, opportunities for growing, opportunities to do things, to take up a skill or to venture into doing some handicraft, doing some business of their own, should be given that opportunities. And that is very, very essential at the same time together with education. Thank you. Back over to you.
Very true, very true. Opportunity, equal opportunity, equal sharing resources in the family, all these, resources. Actually, most of the girls or the boys nowadays are not even aware of such a disparity existing, but it still exists, is the truth. That is why we speak about it. There is no complete plain same. Yeah. Thank you, Madam Rehana, for adding that important point to that. And I think we are nearing to the closure, but we have 2 more questions. If audience want to have their questions in between, please ask, because we have a long list of questions which may not be covered, but I am just choosing important ones. Please, if you have thoughts, come in and then share before we go on to the next one. Okay, waste time. So go on with the next. Audience, please be ready for the next one at least. Yeah. How can women navigate her power structures? How can women navigate her own power structure? Vijaya, do you want to take up?
Yeah, okay. How can women navigate power structure? Okay. First point, believe in yourself. Okay, believe in yourself that you're able to take up any challenges in your life, in your workplace, in your family, in anywhere when you're put as a leader. Secondly, being a woman, you shouldn't get intimidated by anyone, because women, as everyone could see, they are in smaller structure compared to men. So I feel that when you're in the workplace and then you're given a particular thing to do, you might feel intimidated by some men, even though they are your workers and you are the senior. They might get intimidated. So I think you should overcome that so that you can perform very well in your workplace and you can navigate whatever you want to them, to your workers.
Hello? Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. Am I?
You're not visible, but you're audible.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah, your phone is okay. You can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Vijaya. Thank you. True. Believe in yourself is the very apt reply for that. That only when you have that confidence in you to know where you are and what you are, how capable you are, what identifies yourself without getting influenced by others' judgments, then you are more in the place to navigate your energy, navigate your power. Rightly said. Thank you, Vijaya. And anything, Madam?
Can I add to that?
To add?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Sorry about that, but I think it needs to be added. And having self-confidence is very, very important, self-esteem, and that really empowers you. But you need to set up a support system. You need to set up a support system, and a support system not just by yourself, but the community, the office, your culture in your community has to be revamped to accommodate a support system for the women, and that is very essential. Whether it's a woman who is just a junior staff or a senior staff or a manager or a CEO, it doesn't matter. A support system is very, very important to create that culture that that we are here to support each other as a team, not as a woman or a man, or I'm going to support men, only going to support the men's colleagues, and the women are only going to support the women colleagues, and they're going to be. No, it doesn't work that way. An organization works together when everybody considers themselves a part of that organization, whether it's a woman or a man. And a support system needs to be established. And the culture of that company has to change, of the country, of the government, of the family has to change to accommodate this and to allow that support system to be in place. Thank you. Back over to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. But we are forced to think all the other factors are external, but believing in yourself and standing on your feet to express and voice out your concerns, and stabilizing with your own legs, all depend upon you and you alone. I think that takes the primary role in navigating our energy. The whole entire world will say anything or will act anyway, but if we are strong in the inner power, then I think, in a better position to navigate. Definitely support system is required. We are in the society. We need a support system and understanding in the family and the society. Thank you, Madam Lahana. And Vardhini, do you want to add, Amma?
Oh, actually, no. I think I really agree. Sorry, can you hear me? Am I audible? Oh, yes, okay. I was just wondering.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Madam Rahana's cultural aspect, and I can't agree more. So I think we just have to acknowledge that at the end of the day, there are so many factors at play that we can't control. And at the end of the day, as Madam Vijaya has said, it's really up to us whether we want to consider, we want to like mull and fuss over how we have no control over anything around us. We have no control over the comments, over our culture, maybe even society. Or do we really want to just ignore all that background noise, keep it to the background and move forward? So I think that's what is important ultimately.
Yeah. Of course, we are in a society, we need everything. We can't imagine things and go on. As Madam Rahana said, it is equally important, but the decision is made by the inner strength that the woman has on her own, of everything around her. How she manages that will in her to channelize her energy. Wonderful. Right. We are at the end of the closure. Still, I would like to hear at least one question from the audience so that let it be a mutually interactive session. It has been from one side all the way. We want to hear from one of you something so that the outcome of the meeting is successful and we can end from there. Yeah.
Culture plays a lot of part. My name is Charan. Culture plays a lot of part.
Sir.
I've noticed that in Singapore, the Chinese men are able to accept a Chinese boss, lady boss. But Indians find it difficult. This is something culture we need as the Indian to change. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, very important points, sir.
I've never worked with a woman boss, but I've come across people who change jobs or leave their job because they say woman boss cannot. So
see how much they are ingrained with that feeling of being intimidated by a woman. Yeah, very true, very true. Culture plays a great role too. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we are here to
myths and bias also. Actually, culture is a kind of one element, but the myths, women are not competitive, women are not that much stronger, women are having the balance at home and the social contributions and working aspects. So there are a lot of bias available. Different society, different regions, like Western world, kind of bias and myths they have. Eastern world, they are having different kind of strategies. And the other continents also having certain kind of things. It may root up from the, that's why the one questions already you posed, the root causes, where it came from. So we can't able to identify the root causes correctly, then we can't able to eradicate the risks as well as other factors which are driving something for the influence on that. So we must need to go and reanalyze and review them. Then we have to create a kind of modern hypothesis which are making the equality and the equity between the both genders to make the progress for the next group of things.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ram. Yes. As a whole, we understand the existing problems that require women's empowerment because there is two women to be empowered. That is why we speak of this. And we eagerly avoid days that doesn't require this topic at all because we will be equally empowered and equally given opportunities, equally treated with respect, equally being listened with honor. Yeah, all this will happen in the due course. That is why we speak about it now, so that our younger ones, our next generation will appreciate and learn it. It is, as we have been telling, it is not to put down the men, it is not to compete with the men, it is not to overpower the men. No, it is to bring in harmony. It is to bring in accommodation, accommodative tendency, empathy among the society, all of them, including living beings, or it is even the animals. Yeah, we respect one another as beings they are to fulfill the essence of why we are created by the Creator. So there must be a meaningful purpose of our birth in this world. Instead of sorting out the inequality, we just better go into that essence of life so that we perform excellently until we live in this short life. Yeah, we understand from the meeting a lot of things today we have shared, and we have a few questions to think over, and then we conclude the meeting. All right? So, for all of us, not only for women, it's for everybody. Who we are, the first question. What is our role in the society? What is the purpose of our being in this world? How are we keeping up ourselves in this situation? Why do we need to do so? When do we realize we need to do so? That is what we are realizing now, because we have been experiencing a lot of inequality, right? And for men, they also can realize there is a improper, less respectful gender, not equally respected gender is living next to us all along with all the respect for themselves, for them as a man. So men has to identify the counterpart, how do they feel, and how they can improve to the society, to the family, so that to the society, by changing themselves in approaching. As we have discussed, the if mother voice out anything to say, father in certain families will suppress her. Or you don't know anything, please shut up. We will handle it like that. That suppression and all very unfair to a family, to the mother who has been contributing so much to it, more than financial, lot of things to the family. So how do you? This is very important for everyone, but for us, more important, how do we handle our dark moments, challenges, insecurities? This question I wanted to ask, but since we are almost at the end, I just leave it for our thoughts. How do we handle our insecurities, failures, and dark moments? This is very critical, I suppose, because this is where we slip. This is where we are driven away. This is where we give up. If this is settled properly and we bounce back as quickly as possible, we still can face the world with all the courage we need and all the confidence we wear. So that is one of the questions. And every woman and every man rather should look into how do they empower themselves in everyday life. How do they empower themselves? We talk about generally empowerment, but are we investing upon us to empower every day? So these are all the questions we leave to the floor, and we now thank you so much for giving your time in this Sunday evening and contributing so vibrantly and heartfully to this forum. We appreciate your presence, especially the speakers. Within short notice, they have involved themselves to deliver it so successfully and very well. We are thankful from GIST to all of you, all the audience who have been present, and especially Sir, Mr. Charan. He has been giving in a lot of meaningful inputs. Thank you, sir, and all others. And Dr. Satyan, is it? I haven't read.
Sorry, I was a nuisance.
No, sir. It was useful. It's thought-provoking. Yeah, so we thank the other persons, Lakshmi Amma and everybody, welcome, sir, who have contributed their thoughts into it. Thank you so much. I'm so happy seeing you all, being with you all in this evening. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Ram, for your wonderful support and Zoom IT creation and being with us for the presential sharing and throughout the meeting, keeping up all the audience coming in and going out and all the management of the Zoom. Thank you. You are generous to do that for us.
Thank you for making it more successful. Thank you, Dr. Pen Marial, for taking the response and conducting it very successfully. We can congratulate for that. And any feedback from audience? Mr. Raj is there. Kingsley is there. Nias is there. Lynn Kalim. Just now she joined, I think.
Most of them are silent. I didn't. Yeah, most of them are silent. Notice them. Please come out, sir.
So this is the time for them to the voice
and
feedback about that. Yeah, Mr. Kingsley, you want to tell?
Yeah, I think only thing is just I want to add, I just put it in the chat as well. It's a wonderful session. Thanks for all the speakers and the moderators. So I think that we need to educate this woman empowered in our family. That is more important, I think. In our children, I think we need to educate them to respect of the partner or the woman they work with or they study with. So I think that is more important. I think that the speakers have emphasized on that one. I thank for the speaker and I think thanks for this wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. If any other things wanted to share, otherwise we can close the session call for the day.
I haven't gone through the chat information. Any question put up there? Yeah, someone said women's empowerment is everybody's responsibility. Educating in our family, teaching our children is important. Yeah, true. Thank you for that comment.